Hey everybody, welcome back. There's a couple interesting things coming out now from NVIDIA. We have a new driver today, 566.14, and the interesting thing about that is some Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 specific information. We also have the NVIDIA app. It is now out of beta. This is an official release as of today. You can get your drivers, you can do a lot of your settings through this app that you used to do in NVIDIA Control Panel. And there's also some interesting little tidbits that I'm going to share with you as we go along. First of all, let's take a quick look at the driver. Nowadays, if you're using the NVIDIA app, you can see here at the top which driver you have. I have 566.14. That is the one from today. And down here, we have 566.03, the previously installed driver. To roll back your driver, you just click here on the three dots, click here on reinstall, and it will roll back to the previous driver that you had. Quick information about 566.03. 566.03 was important because NVIDIA found 8 security vulnerabilities in their previous drivers that 566.03 corrected. It's important that you update your driver so that your system is not vulnerable. The problem is, like I said, people were having performance issues, but I think I may have isolated what that was. Before I do that, before I talk about that, come over here and click on Learn More, and that's going to tell you everything about the latest driver. This is another neat feature of the app. You get all the information about the driver here in the app. And if you come down here all the way to the bottom, look at this. Game ready for Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 featuring DLSS 3, DLAA, reflex, and ray tracing. Now, the ray tracing bit is a little bit misleading, but let's go through the good stuff first. DLSS 3 will be what we are getting in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. If you remember correctly, 2020 is currently running DLSS 2.4.12. That's the DLSS version that every time the sim updates and you update your sim, you get rolled back to that 2.4.12, and that is from October of 2022. It's now over 2 years old. It's quite old. The current version is 3.7.2. I don't know if we're going to get 3.7.2 in the sim, but we are at least going to get DLSS 3, that's deep learning super sampling, DLAA, deep learning anti-aliasing. These deep learning things, deep learning super sampling, deep learning anti-aliasing, these are NVIDIA's AI machine learning technology stuff. It's fantastic. It's going to give you much better performance in your sim, much better graphics. And the ray tracing thing is interesting because what ray tracing is it follows how the light moves through the scene in your game. It can reflect off things. It can go through glass, things that are permeable. It can change color. It has effects from shadows. We are not getting the full version of ray tracing in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. If you look down here, it says ray traced shadows. So we're getting some ray tracing in Flight Simulator 2024, just not the full version of it. Now, in terms of the official launch of the app, this is now out of beta. If you guys are unfamiliar with it, I know a lot of people consider the NVIDIA, especially GeForce Experience, bloatware. I can tell you without any hesitation that this is a different ball game, the NVIDIA app. The program settings are all here in the app. You can basically set all the settings that you could previously set in NVIDIA Control Panel. Some of them are still found in NVIDIA Control Panel, but a lot of them have now been migrated over, and they're going to continue to migrate these settings over, and eventually NVIDIA Control Panel is going to be obsolete. And one of the cool things about this app is the recommendations that it gives for settings is now much, much more accurate and a lot more realistic, a lot better than it used to be. The recommendations that GeForce Experience used to give for your in-game settings were terrible. And now when I set my own settings the way I set things up in the sim, which you can see here on the left-hand side of this column. When I compare that to what the NVIDIA app recommends me to run, it was literally almost exactly the same. The fact that the NVIDIA app recommends basically the same settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator that I was using tells me a lot. Now we also have global settings here, DSR factors. This is the Holy Grail settings, DLDSR, and max frame rate, low latency mode, all of this kind of stuff. Your shader cache size, all of this is set here in your global settings. The really cool thing with the app is if you come here to the under system performance, you can click here on automatic tuning and it will overclock your RTX GPU for you. Does automatic tuning. It takes about, I would say, about 15 minutes or so to do it when you first set it up. But as you can see, I have an indication here, VRAM tuning plus 200 megahertz updated 2 hours ago. So the app actually monitors your GPU and will adjust the tuning, will adjust the overclock on an ongoing basis to make sure you're getting the best performance out of your GPU. It is a conservative overclock, which for me is perfect. That's all I want. I don't want to, put my GPU in a position where it might get damaged. And the other cool thing about this NVIDIA app overclock is it does not void your warranty, which is really, really cool. And then if you come over here to my rig, you can just come down here to NVIDIA Control Panel, click that, and it will open NVIDIA Control Panel. And here we have our settings. You have the NVIDIA overlay settings. And if we talk about the overlay, these are things that they're constantly refining. And here we are in the sim. Let's take a look at the overlay. If you hit Alt Z as in Z, you will get the overlay come up. And here are the different things that you can do. You can record, you can set up instant replay. One of the things that you want to make sure is that the instant replay is off. Make sure this is turned off because otherwise it's going to be constantly recording in the background. You don't want that. And then we come down here, you can take screenshots, you can do all kinds of different things. And if we click here on game filters, you can see I don't have any filters set up right now. But what you can do is you can click on any one of these 3 spots here. I'm going to click on one. And then you can add a filter. Now this is by game. So if you play multiple games, you can set up up to 3 filters for each game that you play. So for filter 1, the only thing I'm going to add is RTX Dynamic Vibrance. And that adds, I use the stock setting. They've now changed the settings. There's an intensity and a saturation boost setting. And I just leave it right here at 50-50. And if you look at the picture in the game, all it does is just brighten things up a little more. It just makes things a little bit more dynamic and a little bit more vibrant. Funny that, right? So you can see this. I mean, this looks perfectly fine. A little bit dull, perhaps. Click here on filter 1 that sets up, or profile 1 rather, that turns on the RTX Dynamic Vibrance filter. And it just makes things look a little cooler, in my opinion. I'm going to just switch over here so I can show you again. You can see a little bit of the blue from the water and the green and the brown here in the grass. If I turn that off, you can see that just looks a little bit dull. And the trees to me look a little bit lifeless. Whereas if you turn on RTX Dynamic Vibrance, makes it a little bit, it just makes it pop a little bit. It makes the whites more crisp. It makes the concrete look better. I think it makes everything look better. And it's a very simple thing that you can add to your sim to make it look good. There are a whole bunch of filters down here, as you can see, all these different filters to choose from that you can add. I don't know anything about any of them. There's a fantastic YouTube channel, AirNOTT, AirNOTT. He does a wonderful job in explaining things like this, the different filters that are available for the sim to make your sim look better. Now I'll come back here into the app. I'm going to click on download for the new driver. Now it's been downloaded. It's preparing to install. And one of the things that I haven't done lately that I normally would do is I have not been setting system restore points to be able to go back in case I need to roll back the driver. You've got the option to roll it back right here at the bottom of the page here. So what I'm going to do is just click on install. I'm going to go to custom installation. I am going to check there is no update to the PhysX system software. I am going to deselect all it you know what? This bugger installed the HD audio driver on me last time. And that could explain some of the performance issues that I've had back in the day in 2022, that sort of time frame. The HD audio driver was found to be a cause of a lot of performance problems in the sim. So I'm definitely going to remove that. If you don't have the HD audio driver installed, make sure you uncheck this and do not install that. I have to now remove it. So I'm going to click continue. Now it's going to install my graphics driver. So here we are back, restarted. I'm back in the graphics settings in the NVIDIA app. It still is not showing me any preview values, any recommended values for me to run. That's all fine. That's well and good. The last thing that I want to tell you is this did install the HD audio driver for me. And I want to talk to you guys about that real quick. To find out if you've got the HD audio driver from NVIDIA installed, come down here to your search bar, type device manager, and then come down to sound, video, and game controllers, expand that. And if you see NVIDIA high definition audio right here, right click that, come down to uninstall device, and then select attempt to remove the driver for this device, and then click uninstall. What is the NVIDIA HD audio driver? What it does, it allows high quality audio to be run through your GPU to any connected device. In other words, a monitor. If you have a monitor with really good speakers in it, you may want the NVIDIA HD audio driver because that's going to give you really good high quality sound through your monitor speakers. That HD audio driver is known and has been known for a long time, not just in Microsoft Flight Simulator, but in a lot of games, a lot of different games, to cause stutters and all kinds of problems. So check to see if you have that, and if you have it, remove it. And for good measure, the same goes for the NVIDIA virtual audio device. I would right click that, come to uninstall, attempt to remove the driver, and then click uninstall. The only reason you would want any of the NVIDIA audio drivers is if your monitor has speakers. If your monitor is connected to your NVIDIA GPU and your monitor has speakers and you run sound through the speakers on your monitor from your NVIDIA graphics card, you don't want to remove these. But I think in most cases people don't do that, and these audio drivers are buggy, so get rid of them. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of you guys who have stuttering problems, if you go and remove these drivers, if that's not going to fix those problems for you. So I hope that gives you guys some information. You can use the NVIDIA app is now out officially. It is no longer in beta. The driver, the 566.14 replaces the 566.03 that we do need. You need the 566.03 or above for the security updates that they released with that driver. But hopefully the 566.14 is not going to have the issues. Of course, the performance issues that we saw with 566.03 might be related to the fact that it sneakily snuck the HD audio drivers back onto our systems, because I know for a fact that I check that religiously and I make sure that HD audio driver does not get installed when I update my GPU drivers, my NVIDIA drivers. So the fact that it was on there tells me that they put it on there without my knowledge, and I wouldn't be surprised if that happened to a lot of you as well. Very excited for next week's launch of Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We've got ray tracing, we've got DLSS 3. Great stuff. I hope you guys are having an awesome day, and we will talk soon.